Morning guys, it is morning isn't it? Yeah, 20 past 11. So lovely weather today, so I thought I might come out today and take advantage of your vitamins. Is it vitamin D or E? I can't remember what you get from the sun. Never was good at science, but anyway, let's put my remote back, stick it on there actually. One day I'm going to lose this remote for this tripod. So, very hot here, and obviously I've stripped off, took my jumper off, because obviously it's way too hot to be wearing that today. But I thought I might just take this opportunity to show you a upgrade, a knife that I got in a trade recently, which is, get out of sheath, this one. Very popular knife, so you're probably going to know what it is for the people that's owned one or still own one, which is this one. This is the Generation 2 K-bar Warthog. I've done a video on the Generation 1, which is totally different to this. The Gen 2, which is what this is, it was made purely for a heavy duty survival knife, if you like. But I've made 2 modifications to it so far, and one modification I made to it was the grind. Now, when this was first released, it was designed purely as a heavy duty chopper, and pretty much nothing else really. As far as carving's concerned, no, probably one of the worst carvers I've ever had. But saying that, I do like the knife. I tend to be really picky with my knives. It's got to do everything that I want it to do in the woods, forest or whatever. But I do like the knife, so rather than discard it like I have done in the past, I thought of modifications of where I can improve it, the K-bar Warthog. So when I first got it, it was running kind of like a semi-flat grind with a tiny secondary bevel V-edge. Now a lot of people say it's more of a saber grind. It kind of isn't. It isn't. It's not 100% flat. So it's more like a semi-saber grind. But it was way too beefy behind that apex. Way too beefy, too thick for me to do any carving with it. So I decided to mod it. So I thinned out this edge, got rid of that V-edge. As you can see, there's nothing sticking out there. It's just flat. So I've grinded that flat with the stones. Bad knee playing up again, so I'm going to have to back up a little bit. Oh dear, I'm getting old. So yeah, I changed the geometry of this edge from a secondary flat grind, secondary V-edge, which was too thick, and I've put kind of, I'd say a semi-Scandi on the edge, which is a bit similar to the grinds that you get on say the Condor Crutalis and a lot of other Condor knives. It's kind of the same edge, and that's the kind of edge I like, because obviously you can do both heavy duty work and delicate work as well. I was going to go with a convex grind, but I don't want this knife just to be a heavy duty chopper. I want it to do the finer tasks as well, and because of the geometry of this blade, because obviously it's really fat here, but then it kind of tapers really thin. So I'd say it starts off maybe 6mm there and 6mm there, but then it gradually tapers down to about, I don't know, 3mm here. So I thought by changing the geometry of this edge I could improve the slicing capabilities, because there is this part of the blade here is quite thin, again 3 or 4 mil. So I carried that on across the entire edge, the entire apex of the edge, to improve its performance in carving and notching and things like that, which is what I wanted to do with it. The second mod I did with it is I took the coating off on this portion of the spine here, all the way down to the tip, and that enables me to do fine shavings or strip bark off the wood, sticks, etc., or if need be, strike a ferro rod, which couldn't really do before, because they've put this powder coating off, as K-Bar usually does, all the way across here and all the way across the blade. So I took that coating off there, just on this portion here, so this portion stays protected with the coating, and it does that pretty well. I think it probably could do with a little bit more sharper, but for now it suffices. It does the job that I wanted to do. So they're the two modifications I will be doing. Probably, I can't remember my list now. I think I've got 2 more mods to do with this. One is this knife. If you can see, it's really hard to see. There is a gap between where the Kraton handle scales and the tang there. Although that's normal, it's not a fault, it is normal. I'm going to fill it probably with some black epoxy, some sort of black epoxy, and just fill that gap, push it into the gap there. The reason why I'm doing that is because when you're carving, you're getting kind of all the materials inside that hole, and it's really difficult to get out. So this kind of needs filling, so that's another modification. Here is fine, but it's just where it connects the handle here and here. So I'm going to get some heavy duty black epoxy and probably fill that in. So that's another mod that I'm going to do, which I've not got around to doing yet. And there may be a third mod. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do it yet. I'm not too sure. I'll keep testing it in the field and see. But third mod I was going to do is to take the coating off this blade, leave this on, but take this bit off, so that it's not hanging on any materials when I'm slicing. But when I tested it out this morning, the new geometry on this edge compared to what it were before really improves it considerably. Really good. So I may not need to take that traction coating off there. I might leave it on, because it slices good enough now. So I might leave it on. But anyway, might do another video and demonstrate its uses with the 2 modifications, and so I might just have a cup of tea and then show you what it can do for bushcraft. I was quite surprised actually. The Generation 1, if you look at my other videos, the Gen 1, the Mark 1 Warthog, made by K-Bar, like I said at the start of this video, it's considerably different to this one in a lot of ways, and all the improvements that could have been from the Gen 1, they've put it into this one. And I'm probably going to do 2 videos, one the performance of this, and another video that's going to compare the 2, the Generation 1 and this one, if you're not too sure. The Generation 1 Warthog, or Mark 1 Warthog, obviously it's discontinued now, you can no longer get it from pretty much anywhere. I was lucky enough to already own one, but I also managed to find another one in a trade, which I modified, which I did a video on. So but they are worth getting if you can find them, and they are well worth getting. But I will explain the difference between the two in a part 3 video. But today I've not brought it with me, so I'm just going to demonstrate what this can do and how the improvements that I've made to it really comes into its own, what I want it for. So stay tuned and look out for part 2 of the K-Bar heavy duty Warthog. So see you in part 2.